Hello, this is Miss Harris here to talk to you about dividing fractions. Your steps are KCF, keep, change, flip. Step 1, keep the first fraction that is being split or divided. Step 2, change the division sign to a multiply sign. Step 3, flip the second fraction, which is your divisor, so that the numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. Step 4, multiply straight across, top and bottom. And step 5, simplify your answer or fix the improper fraction. If one of the amounts from your problem is a whole number, make it a fraction first by putting a 1 as the denominator. If one of the amounts from the problem is a mixed number, or both of them, change them into an improper fraction. So let's look at how this works. I have 1/3 divided by 2/4. So my first fraction is 1/3. I keep my first fraction, KCF, change my division sign to a multiply sign, and flip my second fraction. It becomes 4/2. Now I'm ready to multiply straight across. Top numbers, 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. And then I simplify. These are even numbers, so I know that a common factor is 2. So that would be 2/3. My final answer is 2/3. Try another one. Feel free to press pause and try it yourself, then press play and check your work. So I have keep, change, flip. And remember, most of the time you're going to have a word problem. So your first fraction is whatever amount in the problem that they say is your total or what you have in all. And your second amount in the problem is what you're trying to divide that amount into. So I keep my first fraction, change my division to multiply, and flip my second fraction. And although I'm saying flip that fraction, that's actually called the reciprocal. So what we're doing is multiplying by the reciprocal of 2/3. All right, multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. And 8 times 2 is 16. I simplify by finding my greatest common factor. I have even numbers, so I know I can use the number 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 16 divided by 2 is 8. I still have even numbers, so I need to do it again. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now I am in simplest form, so 3/4 would be my answer. And what I should have done was divided by 4 at first. And then I would only have to simplify one time. All right. Now, it talked about if one of your numbers or one of your amounts was a whole number. So I'm still doing keep, change, flip. However, in math, you only combine things that look alike. So I need to make 7 become a fraction. So I would have 2/5 divided by any whole number can become a fraction by simply putting a 1 as the denominator. Now I'm ready to follow my steps. Keep the first fraction, change my division to multiply, and flip the second fraction. Multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 7 is 35. I cannot simplify because 35 is not an even number, so I cannot use the number 2. The only thing they have in common is the number 1. So therefore, my answer is 2 and 35/5. Then your steps talked about what if one of my numbers or amounts was a mixed number. So we would need to make them look alike, change that mixed number into a improper fraction. And if you have learning about changing it to an improper fraction for the first time, there is another video on the channel all about making improper fractions if you need more practice on it. So your steps are, the simple steps are, you put plus at the top, times at the bottom. Your order of operations, meaning you have to do multiplication before you do any addition. So 3 times 4 is 12, and then 12 plus 2 be 14, and your bottom number stays the same. Now I have 2 fractions that I can go ahead and work with. So again, keep, change, flip. So I keep my first fraction, change to multiply, flip the second one, 14 times 6. Go over here to multiply that out. That'd be 84 over 4. And now that you have an answer, you don't want to leave your answer as an improper fraction. And we fix improper fractions by dividing. Of course, if you are 6th grade and higher, you just grab your calculator. If not, you do your long division steps. I can make 2 groups of 4. So 8 minus 8 is 0. And that's 1 group of 4 and 0. So this final answer would be 21. Let's try one more. This time, both of my amounts are mixed numbers, so I need to change both of them to improper fractions. So again, you have plus at the top, times at the bottom. Plus at the top, times at the bottom. Multiplication comes before addition. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Bottom number stays the same. I come over here, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13, and my bottom number stays the same. Now I can follow my steps, KCF, keep my first fraction, change to a multiply sign, and flip. I'm come to the side and work this problem out. 14 times 6, because I'm doing top number times top number. Gives me 84, and then 13 times 4. So I'm doing bottom times bottom. Gives you 52. I have an improper fraction, or you might want to try to, but again, a 6th grade and up, you would have a calculator. If you're doing it by hand, you probably want to simplify first so that you have smaller numbers to divide with. So I have 2 even numbers, so I'm going to simplify by 2. So I still need to do this if I don't have a calculator. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So my new numerator is 42, and then 52 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times, and 2 goes in 12 6 times. Still have even numbers, so I need to do that again. Let's erase this so we can have some more room. Okay, 42 divided by 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Bring down my 2. Goes in 1 time. Oops, sorry. Wrote that wrong. All right, so now I have 21. And then 26 divided by 2. 2 goes into 1 time. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And now I have 13. Okay, so cannot simplify. 13 is a prime number. The only factors of 13 is 1 and 13 will not go into 21. So now I can fix it from being an improper fraction, which you're still going to divide. If you're using a calculator, you'll get a decimal number, and anything in front of the decimal is a whole number. So your whole number would be whatever answer you get on your calculator that's in front of your decimal, but then you would have to change those numbers behind your decimal point back into a fraction. So it's always best to know how to divide by hand, especially when dealing with fractions. So 21 divided by 13. 13 times 2 is 26, so that'll be too much. So it'll only go one time. Minus 13. Give me 8. All right, so how do you set this up as a whole number? 3 important numbers you have: top, side, bottom. I used to teach my kids to sing along so they can remember top, side, bottom. Top, side, bottom. Those are your 3 important numbers for your answer. So how do we set it up? You have, first off, your whole number is always on top of your division. Or if you're using your calculator, when you did 21 divided by 13 in your calculator should say 1 point something, something, something. So 1 is my whole number. Now, to set my fraction up, your denominator stays the same. So that's where this 13 comes, because my denominator was 13. And then my remainder is my numerator. So your answer, final answer, is 1 8/13. If you're using a calculator, let me pull that up and see if I can help you with that. So 21 divided by 13 will give you 1 point. Let me erase some of this. Okay, your calculator would have given you 1.615. Okay, so that's your whole number. Then you would need to change the rest of this back into a fraction. So and you would have to round, because it does say 6153846, right? So I stopped at the thousandths place, or we could round that 5 and make it 62 over 100, because I'm in that 60. Once I round 615 to the nearest tens, that 61 would go to 62, 5 or more raising score. So 62 hundredths, and then you would simplify that, and you should get 8/13. So that is dividing with fractions. I hope this was helpful. Be sure to look back in the YouTube channel for other parts that you may have gotten confused on through these steps. And I will see you next time.